Hello YouTube folks. Recently my wife and I purchased a used furniture set, Tommy Bahama, and seat covers were in need of replacing really. They're stained, and my wife has done this before with the replacing of the covers. And so there's 6 chairs involved. The two end ones have armrests on them, and those are the two that presented a problem. I reached out to the manufacturer of the Tommy Bahama line of furniture. I think it's Lexington, and they really, they answered my email promptly, but they just referred me over to repair companies. But I'm not interested in that side. I want to spend the money. I want to do this myself. So what happened was, we thought that somebody heavy had sat on one of these chairs. You can see it's all broken. So that's what my wife thought. But the reality is, they were attempting to remove the seat cushion, the seat cushion, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't get it out of the chair because of the way the wood surrounded it. Just impossible. And so apparently somebody ended up forcing it and broke it. So I couldn't find any other videos on how to disassemble this chair, so I just plodded along and figured it out myself here. I removed a lot of screws. I removed all of the screws that go in here, and all of these braces. That didn't help me at all. So what I discovered was just removing the screws. Let's see here, how's this go? Okay, so now this piece here, this armrest, is actually held in place by dowels, as you could see. And so it was a matter of removing the little wooden, here it is, I have it stuck on this piece of tape, the little wooden end caps on the back of the chair, taking the screws out, and then using a mallet, a rubber mallet, which is here, and I was able to first tap this out, which actually, so they have I'll have to get that out. There's a little nail in there that I'll have to get that out. But just tapping it, I was able to get this apart. So we'll be able to get the, I'll probably end up maybe using a thin plywood or something and replacing this broken. I don't think it should be too difficult. So I'll just have to, redesign a piece and put it in a replacement of that, and then get everything back together here. But it's doable. You could do it. Just be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful, because you don't want to break anything, Just go easy at it with the mallet too. You'll get it. So I'll continue to keep you appraised of how this project's going. This is the seat frame that on the end chair with the arms on it, that it was broken. And I'm sure the only reason it was broken was because they tried to force this cushion out of its position on the chair. Unfortunately, that didn't work, and they just really damaged it. So I'm going to be in the process. It took a long time to take out staples. I mean, there were hundreds of them in here, and we got that done. Now I'm going to salvage this piece here, and I made up a template here. Made up a template, and I have to get a piece of probably plywood, and I'll cut a replacement part, and then get all these staples out and reuse that. It's a big job here, but it's doable. The fabric from the cushion that had a broken frame on it has been removed. See, this is all of the support, and I made a template because I'm going to have to use this template to cut out a new piece of wood to replace all those broken pieces. And I'm sure, and since we purchased this furniture used, we're sure that the reason this was all broken up was because they attempted to remove it from the chair, and unless you know how to remove it, it's going to break. So then actually this piece here is, and the completed pieces, is going to end up being tacked on also. I forget how it goes, but that'll get tacked on the bottom. And I'll show you the one cover that's been replaced. That's going to be one of the new replacements. My wife totally redid this one. One of the hardest aspects of these projects is the hundreds of staples that they put in there. And what we always do is we use Scotch Guard. We also discovered the manufacturer had made a mistake. You can see how nice and round that hole is, you know, where it fits into the peg here, like this. However, they screwed up during the manufacturing process. And on the other side, as you can see, that's not a round hole. Apparently, the first hole they drilled wasn't properly positioned, so they re-drilled. And the reason I picked up on it was because what they did was right here, you can see that little, using a nail gun, they drove a nail right into there to help give it extra support. So I'm gonna work on this here to see if I could improve this. So I'm not gonna have to, hopefully not be able to try to get a nail in there. See what we can come up with. Okay, now we have the newly recovered seat cushion in place. There's something important I wanted to pass along now. The screws that are used here, here's one for example. Might look initially like these are Phillips head, but they're not. These are not Phillips head screws that they use. And you have to use a, let's see if I can, yeah, this bit here, it's a, I don't know what it's called, but it's a square bit, not Phillips head. So that's important. And the cushion does, it fits in there, but it fits in tightly. And the only way you can get that cushion off is to remove the arms. And use a mallet. If you don't have a mallet, you could imagine you could use a hammer, but it would be really important to use a cushioning like a thick towel or something so you don't damage or mar the wood. Another helpful tip here, this screw that goes through here and it holds this piece in place. Well, what I did was I put some tape right around here because this end cap has to be removed. It's a wooden end cap. Oops, here it is. It's a wooden end cap, and so I used a knife to gently pry it loose, but I didn't want to damage the wood at all. You see, the wood's not damaged. What I did was I put this tape right around there to minimize any possibility of marring the wood. Just so you can see, it is possible to get this cushion on with only one arm off. It is not easy, and by that you don't have to struggle or force it, but you really just have to take your time and try to figure out how you can move this around a little bit so everything just kind of falls into place. But there was no forcing of anything to get it to fit. And I wish that I had the camera held supported somewhere where could I show how I did this, because it actually has taken me like 25 minutes because I'd forgotten how I'd gotten it out of there originally. And but it's doable, it's possible without taking off that other arm. And there we have the completed re-upholstered chair. Nose it a little. Try not to bugger them up too bad. The little end caps that didn't come off. Use a. I was able to use a sharp little pocket knife to kind of wedge it in there and carefully get them off. And what I did to minimize any potential scratching or marring around here was I got some black electrical tape and just put strips all the way around here. Well, that's it.